Okay, welcome to Frugal Tech Live. This is a special installment of Frugal Tech Live. This is our Office for Mac 2011 launch party, and we couldn't be more pleased to come to you this afternoon and kind of show you some of the new and exciting features of Microsoft Office for the Macintosh. If you're an Apple user and you want to see your favorite computer company in more and more offices, this is a vital product. This is a major product for the Apple product line. A lot of businesses use Office every day. It's installed on millions of computers. Microsoft Office, that is installed in millions of computers throughout the world. And, you know, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook are all part of the Office suite. This replaces Office 2008. Let's talk a little bit about it. Now, first off, it's important to understand there's two editions of this product. There is what's called the Mac Office 2011, I should say Office for Mac Home and Student Edition. It's $149, and it comes with Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, and it is you can use it on 3 different Macs in your household. So for $149, and that is a really, really good deal. Okay. The second version is the Mac Home and Business version of Mac Office, and this adds to the other 3 programs. It adds the new version of Outlook. It also comes with a utility called the Microsoft Document Connection. We're going to go into that in a little bit. But what that does is essentially allow you to access your documents. If you're a consumer, you're going to be using probably what's called Microsoft SkyDrive, okay, for sharing and storing documents in the cloud. You can also create documents in the cloud with the online version of Microsoft Office as well. And then there is a connection for SharePoint, which if you're a business user, you might be using SharePoint. And SharePoint is generally for business use. So you get those as well. The Mac Home and Business version is $279, and that license is one license and allows one person to install the program on 2 different Macs. So you can put it on your desktop and on your notebook, and then you've got a copy of Office. So I happen to have some of the requirements here with me for Office on there. And basically, you do have to have an Intel processor in your Mac. It will not run on a Mac running the PowerPC processor. It does require Leopard or 10.5.8 or later. At least a gig of memory. Really, I don't know anybody running a Mac with a gigabyte of memory, less than a couple gigs of memory right now. All your new Macs come out with at least 4 gigabytes of memory. A 2.5 gigs free on your hard drive. Does require a DVD drive. And a screen resolution of 1280 by 800 or higher. So any modern Macintosh computer, this thing is going to run just fine on. You need to have the HFS Plus file system. You do need to get some functionality. You will need a Windows Live ID. Most of us have one. It's free. It's very simple to get one. And you will need to have internet access to get some of the features. Now, as far as Exchange Server, Exchange 2007 Service Pack 1 or greater is a requirement if you're going to access Exchange. It will not work with Exchange Server 2003 or older. Also, to access files on SharePoint server requires connectivity to Microsoft Office SharePoint Server 2007 or later. And if you want to do what's called co-authoring, then you need SharePoint 2010 plus a Windows Live ID. So those are the system requirements for Office for the Mac. So here is the DVD that I received recently. I've got it installed both on a Mac Pro And I have it here. Believe it or not, the lovely and effervescent Cindy has agreed with great trepidation to let me go ahead and use her MacBook Pro for the purposes of demonstrating this. When you watch the show tonight, it won't be here. I guarantee you it will not be here. I'll be back and use it. She's giving me the look right now. But it won't be here. She's saying, move along, move along. Okay, so let's talk about some of the great new features of Office for Mac. And I think what's important is to start with Outlook for the Mac. I mean, email is a big part of my job every day at frugalbrothers.com. You know, we're a small business. We're a small business here. And so we're not Office, I wouldn't say we're Office power users or anything like that. We're ordinary folks, very much the kind that would consider an Office suite for running our small business. And that's the approach that we're taking to using it. There's features here we obviously won't be using or we won't have much use for, but there's other features that we're really going to love. You know, some things that we do are mail merges via email. I do those very frequently, and those work very nicely in the older version of Office. I use the calendaring, the scheduling, I used it in Entourage, but I'll be honest, with Office 2008, I quit using Entourage unless I had to. Basically, I made do with Apple Mail, iCal, and the address book. But I'm a lot happier right here. So I'm really happier with the new version of Outlook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and screencast my desktop from this laptop. So Cindy, if you can put that over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make this a little bit larger. And let's see here. Okay. Let's see if we can get down here. And down here are the new icons. I don't know if you can see them very well. Let me try to blow this up a little bit more. There we go. There we go. But we'll go ahead and we're going to start with opening Outlook. I will bring this into, oops, there we go. Then we can bring this down here. There we go. Get this all lined up on the screen. There we go. And we'll kind of zoom in on it. For everybody so you can see, this is the new version of Outlook, and we'll actually zoom in even larger. And here it is. And very much like Outlook on your PC, you now have the option to look at your mail, your calendar, your contacts, and your tasks. Very much like it is an Outlook for the PC. My Outlook is connected to an Exchange server. And what that does is that adds a lot of rich functionality to Outlook, including scheduling resources such as conference rooms, projectors, that kind of thing. Any kind of shared resources a company may have, you can schedule those within Outlook. You can also share calendars with other people in the organization. You can delegate calendars within the organization. You can do all that right there. So one of the things here is to notice that we have a tabs up here at the top. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit more right here. And you can see that we have tabs right up here. Home, Organize, and Tools. Your main email functions that you're going to be working with are right here. Whether I'm replying to email, I'm forwarding email, I'm scheduling a meeting, and I can do that, you know, just right here. For example, here's an email that I got from Nokia. And by the way, I have the three panel reading pane. up on there. But I could go ahead and easily forward this email just by clicking the forward button, and then this would bring it right there. Very, very nicely done. Easier to find. I can schedule a meeting from this email right here. And by the way, they do provide sample Apple scripts for Outlook with the install. Can add attachments. I can get to my rules very, very simply right here by applying a rule to the selected message. Now, I don't have any rules set up right here. I can also apply a category very, very quickly to the email as well. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to scroll it back down, kind of bring it over here so you can get a better idea. We'll bring it a little bit more. There we go. So this gives you a little bit better idea of the kind of the layout of it as well. If I go ahead and I click on Organize, something new is the conversation view right here, and I'll just punch this up right here. You can see where I can arrange email by conversations, by account, by attachments, categories, received, and so forth. But this right here is the conversation view, and it works actually quite well. At first I didn't think I was going to like it, I'll be honest with you. Didn't think I was going to like it. I actually have it turned off on my Outlook for the PC. But since I started using Outlook for Mac full time, I'm going to go ahead and enable it on there. By the way, just give a shout out to the folks in our chat room, Ron Knights, Coheed, Tech Buzz, some of the others out there. This is Outlook for Mac 2011. We can do custom arrangements right here and arrange our email in a way that we want to do it as well. So very, very nicely done. And I can arrange the conversations, the newest on top or the oldest on top right there at the click of a button. Let me go ahead and scroll back out here, zoom back out. I want to make sure that everybody can see the video on there, not kind of squint and see what's going on. Again, we can arrange by, we can also have the arrange by icon right here. Let me bring that back up. I can adjust the reading pane right here. Bring that back up further. So I can adjust the reading pane right here. I can mark my email all read. Again, to get to my rules. I can go to the permissions of an email. For right there, I can go to the permissions, I should say, of my inbox. How it's stored. And you can see that I've got quite a bit of email in this thing, actually. And let's zoom back out. We'll click OK. All right. There we go. Zoom back in. Let's go ahead then. And another nice feature is that My Day has been greatly improved. Let me go ahead and bring up. I don't know if you're familiar with My Day, but My Day is part of Entourage. And the purpose of My Day, bring that up here. There we go. We want to get that front and center. So the purpose of My Day is a quick way to glance at your day without actually having Outlook full screen. And I can look at my calendar for the day. I can go through, quickly look at different activities on there. And I can just click this middle button and it'll take me right to today's date and any tasks that I have. And if I wanted to look at any completed tasks, right there they are. And I can quickly get to it. I can also come down here to the bottom, click Settings, and then I can look at how I want to organize my day. Do I want to show it in the menu bar? Do I want to show it in the dock? If I wanted a shortcut key right there. I can also have My Day start when the computer turns on. and I can always keep it on top of other windows as well. There's my calendars. In my case, I have 2 calendars. You always have on Outlook, you always have a mailbox for your local computer. And then if you add an account such as Exchange or Gmail, whatever, then you would have those accounts possibly as calendars as well. And any tasks as well. I can include flagged messages and contacts, start dates and that kind of thing. I can create tasks right here through My Day. I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. Bring this back over. Let's go ahead and go to Tools. And now we got a whole new set of options to choose from. One thing about Outlook is what we call vacation or away messages. And I can click a button here very easily and bring up my out of office assistant, so that when I'm not there to answer email, Outlook, when someone sends me a message, Outlook will automatically reply with a message. In this case, it says that I'm currently away from my office. If it's urgent, call my cell phone. And to enable that, all I got to do is just click this button here, and I can use it if I'm on vacation. I can change the dates. And I can replace it, and basically I can make sure in case I get the same email, maybe the same person emailed me repeatedly, I can make sure that they only get that message once. And that is the out of office assistant. I'm going to click OK to that. Here's something else, very nicely done now. I'm going to bring this up right here, which is public folders. And I actually have some public folders, although I don't have them configured in Outlook right now. But we actually do have public folders. However, Microsoft is getting rid of that feature. People don't really use public folders anymore. Microsoft would actually like to see public folders go away, but that is still in there. And then I can also import very, very easily. I can import information to Outlook, contacts, for example, through a CSV file. I can also import a PST file. That's also very important. Outlook generates PST files, so we can now import PST files rather than going through special software or hoops to make that happen. I can export. Let's talk about sync services for a minute. As of right now, Outlook will only sync with your contacts in your Mac address book, not your calendar. Now, there's a reason for that, and that is that they wanted to do a great job with it. Syncing is complex stuff. It's very complicated. So they are going to add that capability as a patch at a later date to Mac Office or Office Mac. I get it mixed up. Office Mac 2011. They're going to offer the ability to sync contacts or calendars in a different as well as a different time. Your ability to manage mailing lists. If you want to look at progress bars when you're synchronizing, any errors, you can look at a log. And I can quickly take Outlook in offline, and I can take it offline and put it back online right there very easily. So that's all nicely done. I think another important thing to show you will be the preferences of Outlook as well. So let's go to preferences, and we're going to bring those up, and we're going to go ahead and zoom in on the preferences. There we go. So these are the preferences to Outlook right here. You handle your folder list, so forth. Go ahead and go back into your accounts. This is where I set up my Exchange server. And you would add to here, if you say you're using Gmail, POP3, whatever, you would add those accounts right there. Notifications and sounds. And right now I've got everything, excuse me, I've got everything set to defaults, but I could customize this. Maybe I don't want a tone when the email arrives. Maybe I don't want the little window, the new message window pop up. I have total control over this. I always make sure I turn off bounce Outlook icon in the dock. I don't like apps that jump like little puppies in the dock to get my attention whenever possible. So we'll go ahead and go back to show all. You're going to see something kind of weird here, and I was reluctant to actually show it, but this is categories, and you're going to see lots and lots and lots of categories. Now, there's a reason why. I guarantee you that unless you're using Microsoft Dynamics CRM with the Outlook connector, you're not going to see any of that. You're just going to see the basic categories that it ships with. But there's some type of way that Outlook handles working with Dynamics CRM that creates a regarding thing for each message. And unfortunately, this was an issue in Entourage. It's not been fixed in Outlook, but whatever reason, it confuses the Mac version of this, and it thinks that these are all unique categories. I can't delete them. I can't do anything with them. I have to live with them. But I'm not big on categorizing email anyway, so not a big issue for me. As well as here's my getting to the various fonts that I want to use. You can do all your fonts right here. Select your fonts. We'll go back to show all. As well as, the preferences used for reading your email, composing your signatures, creating rules. Now let's go into sync services. This is a big one right here. So you can see that what it does is it merges your Outlook contacts with the Apple address book and MobileMe. Because some people use MobileMe, and MobileMe is sort of kind of like Exchange to a degree, but not the same thing. You can also sync with other apps and devices using the iSync. But right now it does not sync the calendar, as I said earlier. Now I've got this turned off. Why? Because I'm using Exchange. So what I tell the address book in the Mac, when you add an Exchange account, I can tell it by default, add the contact to the Exchange address book as opposed to the native one on the Mac. That's how I do it. So I really don't have to bother with this level sync, but you might need to do that, and this is where you would handle that in with Outlook. Okay? Let's go back here a little bit. Let's go back to the, also, unlike Entourage, you do not have newsgroup access through Outlook. They've done away with that. Another feature is missing in Outlook is the project manager, and I don't expect Microsoft's going to add that back, because just reading posts from people use Entourage, not that many people use it. It wasn't a big in demand feature, and I think Microsoft has dropped it for good. The newsgroup things, I don't know that many people that even use newsgroups that much anymore. I just don't. But in the event, there's all kinds of other news readers as well. So let's do newest on top. There we go. So that is, there's some things right there within Outlook. Some new things. Let's go ahead and we're going to go to the calendar features, and we brought up the calendar. And by the way, the calendar is so much better done in Outlook. When I was talking about categories, because you can categorize, I want to blow this up if I can. Right here. I've got to move it around. Then we'll zoom in. Right here, these are the categories for different you can create calendars for different categories. No category, personal calendar, whatever you want to do. What I tend to do is there There we go. Just keep it under the, include everything in the one in the view. And we'll scroll down. We'll center this all up real nice. Blow it up. And as you can see, I have different views. I can hit a button to create a meeting very, very quickly. We'll bring that up. And this is the meeting window right there. And I can send an email. And I'll say send one, say to Tim. There we go. And I'll send one to Tim. Right there, there's a meeting, and I can put a subject in there, test. There we go. Put the location. And you do have your different address books. I'm going to click on that. I think the address book might be hidden somehow. Oh, I see. You know what I need to do? Let me just delete that out of there. Now I'll click the address book. Yeah, nothing's coming up. I can come in there, and if I hover over this, you'll see that the contact card is brought up. I can send an email directly, a voice note. I can hook it up, be hooked up to my webcam, start a video call using Messenger right there, schedule a meeting, or open the Outlook contact. In this case, I'll choose open the Outlook contact, and right there he is. And I'll close that up. Very, very nice. That is a great feature right there. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. And I'll discard the invitation. Same thing with an appointment. Click appointment. An appointment looks pretty similar to a meeting actually, but I can create reoccurring appointments right here. Choose the time zone. I could categorize it. Again, you're not going to have all these CRM categories. You're not going to have that happen, so don't worry about that. I can make it private, set all the dates and times right there, print it out, get rid of it. I can also change my view of the calendar. I can look at just by today, set today's date. I can view by day mode. There you go. My work week, which you defined in the calendar settings, the calendar week, or the month, right there. I can open a calendar right here. This is interesting right here. Let me bring this up. So I can open another user's folder, and if I've given delegation authority to that, I can, or the ability to read another person's calendar, I can look at somebody else's calendar. Let's see what happens. I bring that up. So I'll look for Cindy. I'll say find. And the Exchange server found it. And then all I'd have to do is just click OK to this. And then I'd be able to access their calendar. I'm going to just cancel that. And right there again. And I can set permissions to my calendar right here. And I could add different users who would have permissions to see my calendar. Let me bring that up so you can see that right there. This is all the rich functionality of Exchange Server. The problem with Apple Mail and iCal is you just don't get this level of rich functionality where I can grant various permissions and all that. So you really gain a whole lot by connecting to an Exchange Server. I'm just going to go ahead and OK on that. There we go. So that's your calendar. Let's go ahead and take a look at contacts. And the contacts, by the way, are categorized. And you have different ways of looking at them. And we'll just pick somebody, better not. But anyhow, you can arrange the category. You can change the view. If I go to organize up here at the top, I can arrange. I can change the reading pane. I can change the way that I can see these. The view of these. I can look at them as a list. I can look at them as a card with photos and that kind of thing. So that's all in there. And I do make heavy use of the of contacts, and then just brought up my myself in the contact book as well. And again, from there I can send an email directly to a contact, schedule a meeting. If I had Messenger running, then I could instant message and so forth. Right there. Very, very nicely done. Let's go ahead and look at, finally we're going to look at the tasks. And I'm going to go ahead and I want to blow this up so everybody can see this. You do have smart folders on your tasks. So I could look at tasks that are just due by today. Any that might be high priority. Here's a task that's overdue right here. I can see that. I can look at all those. Anything I might have recently completed. All those tasks right there. I can categorize them. I can apply filters right here. Let me bring that in. Bring that over. I actually need a different... There we go. Right there. I can look at my different filters by due date, start date, etc. right there. I got, again, my contact search right there. Very nicely done. And we're going to go back to the email. And we're just going to kind of, there we go, bring that all over. We'll put this in focus and make it big. And there it is. That's Outlook right there. Go here. Just checking in on the chat room. And if you've got some questions or whatever you want to ask in the chat room, just let me know, and we'll try to answer them for you. If you're watching on Justin.tv, come on over to live.frugalbrothers.com. Like I said, we're going to, we are recording this. We will post the video podcast a little bit later so that if you want to come through and see them, that you can. I think is Outlook the star of the show? I sort of think it is for me because email is so important. But I want to move on now. We're going to leave Outlook, and we're going to now launch Word, Microsoft Word. I got to tell you, look how fast that thing loaded, just like that. I got to tell you, I almost dreaded using Word. Office for Mac 2008, the Word, because it took forever for it to load, including on my Mac Pro, which is a really zippy machine. But now it launches almost immediately. And let me go ahead and bring this up so you can see what I'm looking at here, which is the document gallery. That's what you're greeted with right there. Now, you don't have to. There's actually a little checkbox down at the bottom that you can say, don't show this at opening. And by default, it's going to show you all the various templates that come with Word. And it is amazing. And Microsoft has done a beautiful job. Some of these are just gorgeous. They're just really fantastic. And you can come by and you can basically... Let me go ahead and blow this up some more. Make it larger for everybody to see. But I can come down and I can look at templates just for calendars. And it comes with, about 8 different calendars that I can use. If I want to create stationery like envelopes, so forth. What's called a coordinated form for like agendas. Are all there, resumes, proposals. It's all very, very, very fast. So, but you've got basically templates for 2 types of views. A print layout view and then a publishing layout view. And that is when you're doing things like creating newsletters or brochures, flyers, business cards, etc. Let's take a look at some of the new newsletters. And I got to tell you, they are beautiful. These are very nice. I mean, and actually, I don't know if you can see this now, but as I move my mouse, my cursor over the template, I actually see the various pages in that template. Very nicely done. One of the things that you could do with Word 2008 was create a notebook to keep your notes, right? A lot of people probably did not use that feature. Microsoft's made it a little bit better. You can add video notes. You can embed URLs, that kind of thing. That is the feature that I don't use, but there might be somebody else that wants to use that. Let me go ahead and shrink this down a little bit. We'll bring this over. Now we also have online templates. So guess what? If I can't find it up there, I can go online and maybe I want to look for a template for some flyers. I'll click that. It's now going online, and almost instantly, here are some new templates right there that I can use to create flyers with. And I'm doing this all through this little document center that comes up when I launch Word. So I think that's very, very cool, very nicely done. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to choose we're just going to do a new Word document, and we will just choose that, and we're going to make that as large as we can. There we go. One thing that does not happen anymore is the palette, the tool palette does no longer pops right up there. The inspector, it no longer pops right up there. I want to show you something very, very cool about this new version of Word, and I think you're really going to like it. And let's just do that. We're going to put it into what's called full screen mode, and there it is. It's gotten rid of everything right there, and I can just type, and away it goes. Okay, and so now we'll just go up here, and in the full screen mode, basically everything I need to do my work, to type my documents, available to me, and everything else gets out of the way. Isn't that nice? We'll go ahead and exit out of that, and we're back in. We're back into Word. Love it or hate it, we have the ribbon, and the ribbon has been, I think, greatly improved. And there's quite a few different controls on here, whether I'm selecting the font that I want to use, whether I want to do subscripting, superscript, subscript, underline, italicized, whatever. My paragraph formatting is in this section right here, whether I want to use bullet points, numbers, center things, adjust line spacing, if I want to put borders in my document, if I want to sort things, all those is right here in the paragraph section. So my fonts, paragraph control, my styles are right here. We'll bring that down a little bit. Let's move over. Here is something that is really nicely done, which is the themes in Word. And what I'm going to have to do is make that a little bit smaller, bring that over. There we go. Maybe move it over a little bit more. There we go. And we'll blow that up. And I can actually come over here and I can apply different themes, and it'll take care of it right there. And I can browse for additional themes, but there's quite a number that comes with it. About 20 different themes built in, and then you can browse for more. Oh, the control there. Hi, Roland. How are you? Doing the Office Mac 2011 launch party. And like I said, if you like Macs, you want them to be part of your business, this thing is greatly, greatly improved. Now, Microsoft has also done a wonderful job. Let me go into here. And now bringing in our media. So we're going to click on that. And now I can come over to here. Here's my media, my photos. I can insert an audio clip, movies, clip art, whatever I want. So I'm going to go in to my events. Oh, I don't have any events on here. I don't have any photos. That's right. Because yeah, right. I don't have any photos on here. But if I did, this is where I'd find all those at, right there. Music, movies, etc. I just insert them right there. I literally just finished the installation on this laptop before we started that. Anyhow, but that's you can add your media right there. I can look at a thumbnail pane, reviews, all that kind of thing. It's all right there. Let me make this a little bit smaller, navigate over. I can insert pictures. I can go to the clip art browser. Right, there's some clip art. Let's make that a little bit bigger. And I don't know. So, let's just, there we go. Like that. We'll take that and just drag it over there. And now I can adjust it. I can rotate. I can move it around. There we go. Resize it. Whatever I want to do. I'm going to start the clip art. I can make text wrap around this if I want to. Very nicely done. And we will delete that out of there. So let's go ahead. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to demonstrate bringing a document down from the cloud and editing it in Word. And the way I'm going to do that is down here in my dock. I'm going to, matter of fact, what I could do is we will do this. We're going to magnify the dock so people can see that. And we're going to, magnification is large. Turn it on. There we go. There we go. Right here. I'm going to come over to this tool right here called the Microsoft Document Connection. I'm going to click that connection. I've already established a connection to my SkyDrive account. And I'll zoom this in so you can see that. This is the Microsoft SkyDrive. And I'll zoom back out of that a little bit. I'm going to click on that. And it takes me into some documents that I have. And I will go into, let's see, Frugal Brothers, and we're going to see, here's a document right here. And then what I'm going to do is I want to read that. I want to read this document. So I'm just going to click this read button. And then we're going to see, it's asking me for my Windows Live ID, which happens to be frugal.bruce at hotmail.com. And we'll put in our password. There we go. And we're going to sign in. And we get the spinning beach ball, but that doesn't mean that there's a problem because it's got to go through an authentication process. There you can see now it's beginning to download this document. So this went through, and there it is. And there is the document that was on the server right there. And it's downloaded, and it's just going to let me read it. I think if I try to edit it and try to save that, it's not going to allow me to do that. But right there, so I'm reading the document right there. And it says that I'm in read-only compatibility mode. So I really can't do anything to that document other than read it and make any changes and save those changes. It's not going to let me do that. So we will go ahead and get rid of that. And also, let's just do this. There's that document again. I'm going to go ahead and close out of it. And we won't save it. There we go. I also, if I can go to the home menu, there we go. Let's close out of that. Go to control, boom out. I can also, now, yeah, let's do this. Let's zoom in. Right here through the menu, you'll notice that I can save to SkyDrive. I can save a document to SharePoint. And I also can do the same thing when I open it as well. For, as I said, if you're a consumer, you can get a SkyDrive account free. It used to be known as Office Live, but now it's part of SkyDrive, and you can get that for free. If you're a business, you may have what's called SharePoint. I can also, in this menu, in the File menu, we're going to control back out. And you can't really see it too well. There we go. But in the File menu, basically remains the same. We do have some sample automator workflows right here. Let's make that a little bit larger. I can add a password. I can convert text to audio and send it to an iPod. I can convert the format of the Word files, save as a PDF, send as an HTML version, an Outlook message. I can do all that right there. So very, very nice stuff. Let's go ahead and look at some more of the menus on here. So the home tab is basically very, very quick formatting of your document. The what kind of fonts you're going to use, what kind of, how you're going to format the paragraphs, the styles you're going to use, that kind of thing. But if we go into the layout, this is what's going to allow out. The layout tab is now what we're in. The orientation, whether we want landscape or whether we want portrait mode. We're going to adjust the size of our document right here. We can bring that up whether we want to, which by default comes at 8.5 by 11. Page breaks right here, whether we're going to do a column break, so forth. The margins, whether you're in Microsoft defaults to one at the top, one at the bottom, 1 1/4 to the sides. That's all there as well. We'll bring that back down. All your formatting, you can do a page background. You can change the background color. Say if I want different colors. Whatever I want to do there. We'll just say none right there. If I want to do borders, right here is where I can pick borders to put around the document. Shading borders, very, very nice. Very, very nice. I really like it. It's very rich. I'm going to say that this has got to be a great version of Office, and I'm going to dare say that I think much of it is on par with its Windows brother, Office 2010. In fact, I think some features are even better for us Mac users than you've got it on the PC. Now, there are some things that are missing, but for the most part, I think it's great. Ron Knight says he likes the icons. Yeah, those are very, very nicely done. Let's go ahead and take a look at document elements right here. And what I like is these menus get right out of the way when we're not using them. Whether we want to insert a cover page, we can do that right here. Scroll that over. There we go. Various cover pages you can use. You want to insert a blank page. So it's just all about different things you can insert, including page breaks. I happen to be a big page break guy. I mean, I'm always inserting page breaks in a document. Different ways you can do headings, headers and footers, citations, references. If you're doing a report, if you're like in college or you're doing a report of some kind, you may have to cite your references. Well, this is where you're going to do your bibliography. and that kind of thing. You can also put in word art. You can even do mathematical equations in Office for Word. Very, very nice. We can come over now to the Tables tab, and I'm surprised the number of people who don't make great use of tables. They try to line things up manually and space them, all that. It's so nice. We'll just delete that. To click a button and insert a table. And there's the various styles right there that you can choose from. Your shading, all that. What is right now we're in the headers. Yeah, tables. So there's your various tables that you can use right there. We can work with charts, which it borrows from Excel. I think we're going to move on, and we're going to move on to this section right here, because I think this is what's important right here. This big boy that says review. Let's talk about that for a little bit. So in the world of business, a lot of times you have more than one person. You may have multiple people working on a document. And what happens is that people will mark up, notate, make changes, and you begin to have what we call version control problems with documents. So by using this, we're just going to close that. There we go. So I could email a document to you, allow you to edit, and then you could send that back to me, and I could accept or reject your changes right through here. If I can accept the document and it changes and move to the next and accept all changes. So, and what I'm going to do right now by default is turned off, but when I click this magic button here and turn it on, there we go. Now I can begin doing these things within Office. I can look at the review pane, make that smaller, bring it over here. And if this was a document that we were tracking changes on, you would see main document changes, any comments made, any changes to the header, footer, any text box changes. All that would appear right there. And I could look at a thumbnail view. I could look at them different ways right there. I could actually search for changes. It's all right there. And I think this is an awesome feature of the new version of Word for Mac. By the way, VBA, Visual Basic Scripting, is now part of Office for Mac that wasn't available in the 2008 edition, and now you can. Let me take a look at some of the comments in the chat room. Again, we've got a lot of we got some comments about the icons. Roland says it looks a lot like the PC Office 2010. And it does. But it's more Mac-like too. It's not as glaringly different. But that's the thing, Roland. Now we can go back to a company and we can say, this is the best version of Mac, Office for Mac yet. It adds a lot of compatibility with Office 2010. A lot of the same rich functionality in the software. It's all there. Is it worth the money? That's, we got to bottom line things in business. Is this tool worth the bucks? And absolutely, it is a worthy successor to Office 2008. If you're a heavy Office user, do not walk and get a copy of this software. You'll be glad that you did. Microsoft, the Macintosh Business Unit, or the MBU, has done an amazing job with this software. And I really, really like it. These are just some of the features of Word for Mac. So we're going to go ahead and close Word out. And we won't save. There we go. And we're going to close that out. Let's go back over here. The next on the list, oh yeah, how many Excel jockeys are out there? Well, let's go ahead and launch Excel. Look at that. Look how fast it comes up. It's just instantaneous. And this is when you very first launch the program, the screen that you see, and it tells you what's new. Again, accessing your files anywhere. Let me just bring this up, make it larger for some of us with not so good eyes, to bring that up. It says we can access our files anywhere. We can display data visually with conditional formatting. We can manage your data by organizing, filtering, and formatting related tables. Summarize your data with pivot tables. Pivot tables are built into this. Spot trends with sparklines. Now let me explain what a sparkline is. Essentially, a sparkline is simply a small graph that fits within a cell, one cell within Excel. And so that makes these very small charts then makes it easier to discover patterns in your data. That's the idea. And Visual Basic, or VBA, Visual Basic Automation, including scripting and macros, is in Excel for Mac. And I think it's wonderful. I'll just go ahead and click close. And when I do, it spins around. And guess what? Templates. Just very much like I had with Word. Now we got these templates that pop up. Let me go ahead and make it a little bit smaller. And we have time management templates. Here we go. We can do, we have templates for calendars, pros and cons, to-do lists. What they call business essentials, which if you're a consultant, that build in time tracker, a customer list. There's personal finance, budgets for your household, business finance. It's all there. And guess what? That's right. Online templates right here. All right there. So it's pretty much a lot like it's basically the same thing. We're going to go ahead here and we're just going to open a new Excel workbook. And there it is. It's really fast. Excel is very, very fast. And guess what? Again, we have, I'm just going to move this over so we can see it. Very much like in Word, in our own, a lot of it's got to do with editing. The fonts that we want to use, alignment, but we can quickly get into maybe the type of numbering we want to use. I use numbering all the time. You might use something general. My conditional formatting rules are right here. And right here, I can theme it. I can select different themes, so we'll apply different themes. We'll apply the Advantage theme. Let's take a look here. So we're applying different themes. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing a change here. Doesn't seem to be. I must not be doing something right, but I don't know. It worked on the Mac Pro. It's not changing anything here. We'll try it one more time. That's Office, Grayscale, and it is just not changing the theme. There must be something I'm doing wrong here, but I'm not sure. So be it. Still have the Layout tab. Very much like Word. Tables, same thing. Let's go to Charts. Let's talk about, I'm not going to go in a lot of detail about the sparklines, but creating charts, charts are so easy. Graphs are so easy. 400, 600, 800, and then there we go. We'll just select these, and we will do a sparkline, and we'll select that to put it in. And there's my sparklines right there. Let me bring that up. Just inserted a sparkline. I can choose different formats for my sparkline. If I come over and I change the data, we'll change that to say 900. There we go. Or we'll make it bigger number. We'll say 1500. Change that. There we go. You can actually see the sparkline just changed. Make that bigger. Sparkline just changed right there. So you get the idea. I think you get the idea. We have the media right here. We could insert photos. We could insert little movies. Maybe you want to make a spreadsheet that you're doing pricing on. You could have a cell containing a movie that would play to explain the data that the end user is looking at. How cool is that? Very, very nice to be able to do something like that. Movie clips, art, symbols, shapes, whatever you want to do, a photo, put it right in there. This is a big one right here, and I think it does warrant being covered, okay? And that is working with your data. And by the way, you will have OBDC data drivers will have to be downloaded separately from Microsoft in case you want to connect to an SQL server or something like that as the back-end database for Excel. You will have to do that. But you can natively create a FileMaker database right from here, or you can connect to a FileMaker database, and you rightfully so, that is an Apple database. But you can also there is a wizard for creating a pivot table right here. We'll go ahead and scroll up on there. We just tell it to create an automatic pivot table. Yeah, and which yeah, I'd have to create at least 2 rows of source data, but right there is a tool that automatically create one for you. Also, your what-if analysis, your scenario managers right there. All very easy to get to. And, you know, the thing is, in older versions of Excel, you had to look around for some of this stuff, or it simply didn't exist at all. And that makes it nice. And there's one last thing we're going to look at in Excel, which is, again, review. Now, here's the thing. The new version of Mac Office is all about collaboration, sharing and editing documents together, whether you're doing spreadsheets, whether you're doing presentations, whether you're doing Word documents, etc. And again, documents, when you're collaborating, people do mark up, they do annotate, they do make comments on changes. We can give permissions on here. And Office 2011 for Mac also contains information rights management. And that's where you get into using passwords. For example, I can file protect right here with a password, etc. And I can give permissions to people to look at through information rights management right there. So I send it to a user, but if you don't have the password, then you're not going to be able to look at it. There we go. You can see right there it is. It says it cannot connect to the rights management services server. Right there it is. And also, we'll bring that down, move this over. There we go. Make that bigger. Again, we can track changes. We can send them via email. I can share the workbook. And if I click Share Workbook, this is going to be the window that we're looking at right here. I can allow changes by more than one user at the same time. And I can go to the advanced tools right here. Again, very, very nicely done. I think Microsoft's done a marvelous job with the new version of Excel. It's very fast. It truly is incredibly fast to use. I'm really, really impressed with the speed of this thing. And that is a very quick tour of Microsoft Excel. And we'll say don't save. And now we're going to look at, there is a new version, by the way, of Microsoft Messenger. That we're not going to cover that today. But I'm going to open Excel. Or, whoops, already did that one. Sorry. Man, I'm just amazed how fast that pops up. PowerPoint. Right here's the new version of PowerPoint. Same thing happens that when we open any other Office application, okay, and that is that we're getting this whole PowerPoint, we're getting this whole presentation gallery. And you can see that I come up with different templates. I've got different themes. Let's go to my templates, presentations. Here they all are. Okay, what's the main new thing about PowerPoint? Well, there's a couple things, but I think one of the big features is the ability to share a presentation online through my SkyDrive. Essentially, I'm going to go ahead and just open a presentation. There we go. And look how fast it is. By golly, what do you know, Cindy? It's a GFI presentation. How about that? I just happen to have one handy. But it's really amazing. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up so you can see this. And I can go to slideshow. And there's the new command right there, broadcast show. And when I click broadcast show, this is what I'm going to see. Let me bring this over. And it uses the PowerPoint broadcast service. Okay? And essentially all it's going to do, and we'll actually click connect to that. Again, it's asking for my asking for my Windows Live ID. I'll sign in. And it takes it a few seconds. There, it's preparing the broadcast right now. Which is actually doing it fairly quickly. This is a fairly decent size thing. And right here, it just gave me a URL, okay, that I could send in an email. And then to that, I'd say send it to people in my address book, and then I could email them the link. Okay, I would email them the link, and they could go there, and then basically all I would do at that point is click play slideshow, just as I normally would, and then they would see the slideshow, and I would be on the phone with them or on Skype talking about the presentation. And I'll just go ahead, and there's actually a setting if you have multiple displays, which on the Mac Pro I have 3 displays. I'm going to go ahead. I can invite more people as I go. I can copy the link, whatever I want to do. That is something new in PowerPoint for Office 2011 in the broadcast, right there, and I am right there. And we'll go ahead and we will close that slide. We will do a file, a new presentation. And this is one of the things that makes having your media available is the quick ability to embed movies, for example. You can now edit video within PowerPoint. And that is very, very Keynote-like. Okay, the question is this better than Keynote? I haven't created very many presentations in either Keynote or PowerPoint, but I will let you know. I am going to do some presentations and make them in PowerPoint and see how it goes. But by everything I've read about PowerPoint, and I have some information right here. And let's just go right into the spec sheet. Okay, I got to apparently close that one out. There we go. Oh, that's Outlook again. PowerPoint. There we go. You can edit pictures right within PowerPoint. You can, like I said, you can embed and format movies on there. There's a new 3D slides transition. It's all built right in there. So we go into your transitions. Let's go in and look at the transitions. You know what we'll do? We're going to start from just the top again. PowerPoint, File New from Template. We'll just pick a template right here. Doesn't really matter. Breeze looks good, and we'll say choose that one. And we'll do a new slide. Okay, now we want a new slide. There we go. There it is. And now we'll go into transitions. We'll bring this up. And let's take a look here. And there's wipe, split, all the... Oh, I noticed that when you get underneath split, there's a little tab. Look at that. Wow. A lot to choose from there. Reveal, random bars, cover, switch, rotate, fly through. There's all kinds of different transitions. And then if I make that smaller, look at that transition. Very cool. And then there's my effects options right there. How I want the transition to go. Very nice. So I kind of like that. I like Vortex. Right there. So there's all my transitions. I can go into my themes. And then they all become very handy for me. Just click right on the go and the theme changes. Very nice. I think Cindy's going to love playing with PowerPoint for the Mac. It's very, very slick. I could keep doing some other stuff. We actually had a tornado near us earlier today. I was kind of worried that we weren't going to be able to broadcast this afternoon because of the weather. Okay. There's some of our transitions. We have different animations in here. Now, I know Cindy loves different animations. And we do all kinds of stuff. We can do different fills. We can make things spin. I don't see anything really new here within the animations, but as I understand, there are some new things in there that I'll probably discover. Finally, our slideshow settings. Right here, where I can look at the presenter view. If I want to rehearse, record the slideshow, play narrations, use timing, I can mirror the show. It's all right there. The ability, and I tested, by the way, the broadcast show yesterday and with Rob Johnson, and it worked very well, he said. And finally, again, we get back to this whole collaboration thing with the reviewer tools. Those stay consistent between Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, by the way. You learn now to do it in one. They apply it to all the others. And I can save a PowerPoint presentation, an Excel spreadsheet, or Word document to either SkyDrive or SharePoint. So, you know, to kind of recap, I think that Office 2011 Mac is a strong and worthy upgrade to Office 2008. It's much faster. It's got rich collaboration tools, a host of new features, which makes it very, very nice. Let me go ahead and control down there. In Word, you have the full screen view. By the way, that's something like Apple showed during the recent Back to the Mac event. Now you have full screen mode in iPhoto and other applications. Microsoft's jumping on board as well. So you gain that. You've got a host of new features in Word. It is just so much faster. You got a brand new version of Outlook. So this is a very, very worthy upgrade. We want to thank our friends at Microsoft for providing us with a preview copy. And as we go along, I'd like to, as I learn to do different things in Office and maybe make some YouTube how-to videos in these things. But it's all there. Visual Basic automation is back in Office, so you gain a whole lot of functionality in this version of Office. And that is a demo of some of these products. Now, if anybody's got any questions that they'd like to ask in the chat room, that's fine. I highly recommend it. And we're going to go ahead and do some post-show wrap-up on this. And so we'll go ahead and this will end the recording session and right now. But hang around, we'll chat for a few moments.